Ancheta, and I'm here for West Coast Wednesdays. You can join us every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you to the Garnish Music Network for inviting us out for, I believe this is probably like the 26th episode this year. We're here every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And we're going to get into the digital audio workstation of Ableton Live and working from session view into arrangement view, and then also back and forth. Setting up automations, transitions, effects, and so on and so forth. If you guys have any questions, please contact us at sf@garnishmusicproduction.com, and we'd be happy to answer your questions. So just to start off, we're going to kind of get into where we left off last week. If you guys are ever curious around how we created this, you guys can always go back to our playlist from West Coast Wednesdays and see what we were doing in the previous week. All right. So it's been a little while since I've checked this one out. Looks like we're at 160 BPM all the way through, except we do cut time here, 80 BPM. This is Ableton 11 feature. It's a little bit more hidden in the 10, right? You can actually put in the title to change your BPM. You have to say the BPM within the title to do that. A little bit easier in 11. So let's just try out some of these transitions and see how it's going. I noticed that it says off up here, and that's because our audio interface is not set up yet. So if it ever says off, you can click here and go audio engine and choose your audio interface. I have the X32 rack, so that will be my input and my output. I did in the opposite order. Notice now we have a little bit of a delay going on. I'm just going to go ahead and turn off the auto mode. So when you're in auto mode, that's where you can actually use the effects within Ableton, right? Right. So let's go ahead and play some of this and make sure you guys can hear it out there. Looks like it's coming through. Little breakdown here. I think I'll bring that up so I can just really drag and drop these to change the order. Okay. Also, because I'm not in performance mode right now, I want to change how my overall latency is. So let me go in here and I'm going to go Command comma, bring up my preferences. It looks like I'm at my buffer size is 1024. And that's actually really good because it just allows for more of your computer to kind of keep up with your processing. If you're at the lower speeds, right, the sampling of 128, which is what I normally do if I'm processing live effects, because I don't want delay time from my live instrument. I want you to go through fast. The quality does go down a little bit, but you got to kind of balance that out. All right, let's go back to where we were. All right, so I kind of remember where this track is at now. So what we're going to do, by clicking the tab button, we can switch to arrangement view. And when it's in this grayed out feature right here, you're going to notice that this little orange button is on. Let me see if I can zoom in so you guys can really see that. So this orange button right here, really important to know that if that's on, you are going to be only hearing session view, right? When you click it again, it allows for arrangement view to have tracks in there too. All right, let's go back to our regular view size and let's go in here and try something out. So I have this looper up here just set randomly, but what I want to do is from the very beginning, looks like the 4/4 is set up here on top. I'm going to put a set marker from the very beginning and call this my start point. You can also put this later on, right? You can drag this across to any location you want. This is for an example of having some extra space in the beginning for any live reason or just flow for your sessions that you're having. in your studio for yourself or others. Let me just put it here. So this is where we'll start recording when we go back to session view from arrangement by pressing tab. Now, if you don't already have all your tracks here, you're going to want to catch up or create a track, create a session that has all of these in it. Create a scene, I should say. Now, let's go ahead and record this. Normally, I have a push 2 in front of me and a Kai MPK Mini. And because I don't have any visual of that, I'm going to actually use my mouse for the entire day today so you can really see visually how you can do it hands-free. If you just have your laptop, you can totally do it without any device. So clicking record up here, make sure I want to start this when I want to. So I'm going to stop all with this button right here. That's the stop all feature in session view. And the click comes in. Now notice how it is recording from that starting point, but there's nothing to record because we're not playing any tracks. When we start doing the tracks, all right. Then they start coming in. Playing this through 2 times. So if I went too long in that middle section, we can always cut that up. And that's what we're going to learn today is how to increase and add time in arrangement view. Breakdown. Kind of bouncing around to get some ideas here, right? While you're recording in, you can also have your MPK Mini or your hardware device doing some effects in the meantime as well. Now, if you guys want to start mixing things up, you can just duplicate the whole part here. up. Zero this one out. And stopping there. All right, so let's just look at this. So now everything's grayed out still in arrangement view. So I'm going to go ahead and unclick this. Notice how we have some stuff that was also muted. So we're going to hear parts of that here that we might want to unmute that to kind of see what that guitar was doing. Looks like I didn't start from the start point, so that's okay. We can actually go in here and delete time. We're going to select this entire area. Command Shift Backspace, and we deleted time. It did take out our marker as well because we went exactly back there, so we can just redo that. Creating that marker, Command R, and name that. So here we are. So it looks like I didn't actually want that exactly cut in that way. I might want to cut it here. Where was that part? So it looks like the very beginning, our melody was cut a little bit, and that's okay because we can come in here, and this is where we learn how to take parts out or put them back in. So let's go ahead and go to redo delete time. Add location. All right. So what I want to do here is make sure that our melody has a little bit more stuff going on. So our bass line here. Now, it didn't actually complete. So let's make sure that this completes the whole melody. Let's expand this out. Ba-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum. And there we go. It's even longer than that. So I believe it's a phrase of 12. Or maybe less. So this is the cool thing about some of these phrasings that we're doing here in the song. It's pretty uniquely, it's in a 4/4 beat, right? But the bass line goes, let's put the click on so you guys can hear this. Oh, sorry, we're at 6/8. Boom. So that's where we want the beat to come in. So now we're just selecting the area we want to delete. Command Shift Delete, and all right. And maybe let's take out this extra time here, see how that goes. I actually do like it there. Command Z, right, to undo. Now, this is an area that this is like a transition spot. So we want to be able to get in here and build up or something, right? So let's go into our drums all. Let's bring this over. We want to also know how big our section is. So let's put our markers in around this. So we're building here, or break. And then this is into rename verse. So we're starting to kind of get a gist of arrangement view, left to right kind of reading style. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do a 4-beat break right there. So one thing that we did in this song that's kind of unique is that we have, I guess we had the 6/8 on for the very beginning here, and then 4/4 comes in. So we have automations up here. We can right click or press A if we're out of key mode to see all automations. Go into your master tempo, right? And kind of see where things are. So it looks like it says it's changing tempo from here to here, but it's not actually. Mixer. Dun, dun. Global groove amount is great. All right, looks like we have some kind of something going on with our timing here, but it's not able to let me delete it. And that's because we might have this engaged here. So one thing that we're doing here is we're changing some of the BPM. I have a 1 count here because this melody breakdown changes to where it's not, it doesn't actually go into 4/4. It has an extra beat in there. And then this swing amount says 6/8, which we didn't actually use any of that. So. All right. So we're staying in that 4/4 override. Dun, dun, dun. So I am noticing that the 6/8 did actually give us a good feel from this point here. So let's go ahead and see if we can put that in. 6/8. That's where we want to change. Boom, boom. All right, so we have our groove coming in right here. And I still want that swing to come in a little bit sooner. Let's expand out some of these other beats. And let's just take a few parts from here. Cool. I do like the middle clap. This one right here. So let's duplicate this a few times. All right, and let's notch this a little bit. Actually, that's our chance and velocity. Let's expand this out and just have velocity. So we want to go from let's put this on the grid. And let's get a big swell from our operator. So this is something that I could probably see if I expand out operator. This one I think has it. There it is. Okay, so this operator right here, it looks like that can be copied, and everything that you copy in here. Now, if you're in the view where you can see the automations, where you see these lines, when you copy, it will not copy the actual thing you want. You have to press A again, get out of automation mode, and then go into where the break is and paste it in. And this is where a space might be kind of cool. Let's go ahead and just zero out, pressing 0. One thing that's nice about having these color codes down here, so I didn't explain this too much before, is that right here, I put all these different colors in. So whenever I change scenes, it's pretty obvious when you change scenes in arrangement view because there's tracks that come in and out. But you are going to also want to be able to get into seeing exactly where it changed, right? So right here, I can go Command R and see like, okay, that should be cool if I put a verse in right there. So it's already kind of creating these spots for you. I often like to put this track, let's see here, this would be arrangement. And I could put that on the very top next to the all. So I'm dragging and dropping this above. So I can kind of see when I zoom out now by just clicking the minus button anywhere, I'm kind of seeing the different changes that I've created here, right? That's how many times things have been changed. And this is on loop mode. All right. So what also happened when we recorded was if you have it on loop mode, it will record over the part that you did before. Okay. So that's why our initial whole layout wasn't really lining up and feeling the right way. So we did learn a few things here, but also make sure that your record mode, your loop mode is off, right? That's essentially this button right here, or I believe L is the feature for that. Used to be a feature for loop. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start again from a nice starting point. So let's just go ahead and redo this. If you guys want to, this is the great thing about going from arrangement to session view is that if you ever, do something wrong, just start over and do it right. It's very malleable, the whole program. So let's go ahead and get into record mode and start from the top. And I did notice that in my top part here, I wanted to make sure that my vocal was engaged. For some reason it wasn't. Notice how in arrangement view, it's recording right over what we did before. And I want to get higher. Good. Now we're into the energy of the song. It's like I would say this is like verse 2. This is actually energy down a little bit. Maybe I should start with this one. Little bridge. Energy up. I think the bass kind of comes down in energy, but the other one, all the percussion's better here. So this is where we can kind of change it up and get better at it. Notice I'm waiting for that transition that we created in session view to come back in with the melody. And just pressing the space bar to stop. All right. So what was happening here in arrangement view is as we were recording, our tempo was changing, and it was making sure that it stays in the 4/4 here, and it's in 6/8, right? Anywhere else, and that's just how it was set up initially. Let's go ahead and get to the very beginning of this and notice how now our arrangement, right, has a lot of different colors. It's all grayed out. We're going to come into arrangement view and really see it now by clicking that button. And here we are. So we started this on. Okay, right here, I'm going to just put a marker here, and this is a spot that I want space. I'm going to go ahead and zero out certain instruments and just slowly start creating space. And it looks like we have our second drumming track in. So I was doing this to kind of get the energy up and just show you guys that you guys can actually duplicate an entire group and pan left and right, but I'm just going to delete that because it's just for demonstration. It's not going to help me in this exact moment. So now going back to that idea of those claps that we were putting in. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate. I'm going to unfold these so we can kind of see what else is in here. I do like this hi-hat. It's kind of half open. And I love odd timing. So if I can put some type of like 6/8 pattern over the top of the 4/4. I'm doing a pattern of every 3, it looks like. If I just keep that up, it will have that different feel. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And it looks like 1, 2, 3, chunk. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Cool. Crazy phrasing. I love hi-hats that kind of get... So notice how I did this whole part right here, and then the next one doesn't actually have that yet. So we can now extend this out. I'm having some trouble with my computer reading this because I made my mouse so big. Maybe it's kind of having trouble reading. So now it has that new hi-hat all the way through that loop. Okay, I really do like that a lot. So if this is something that we want in the future on our clap drums, okay, for energy, we can easily bring that in, knowing which phrasing we're in. We're in this orange part of the arrangement. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're in orange. And let's go into drums all. Opening that up. And clap drums. So seeing down here that we don't have that in yet, I'm going to go ahead and paste this in. And just like that, right, we had that visual of arrangement view and what we were hearing in the song, and we were able to get to a point where we can then kind of see the next phase of where the production would be. We can fold these up and bring this down a little bit. Not sure why my mouse is not wanting to work very well. Okay. So that's in there. Now, if we want this on all of these, we'd have to actually paste these in going down. Paste, 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 right? As an option. If you guys want it out and bring it up in energy later on in the song, we can always just press 0 and minus that out. Okay. But since we're in arrangement view, this is already created over here. So I think I just want to copy and paste this in to the next spot. Copy, paste, and it doesn't sound actually as good there. So let's... And I'm also more keen on what is the hi-hat doing over here? Like, is this really the one that we want? Soloing, pressing the solo. Double clicking, you can kind of see everything all at once there. And I'm thinking that this is still a little bit busy, so I'm going to zero out more of these. From the very beginning, 0. 0, 0. I just want less of that hi-hat. They're slowly getting all of these out. Not all of them, but some of them. Some of the variation you can also do, you know, by automating some things, but going in by hand sometimes helps out. So now this one might actually fit into that point a little bit better. Let's bring that across and bring that in. If you guys are just joining us, please like and subscribe. Help us out by following us. We have sessions going on all the time. We have our Tuesday Beer and Beats happening. We also have a session this Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. So if you guys want to sign up for that, go check us out, sf.garnishmusicproduction.com. Sign up for our email list. Cool. I'm actually going to put an event in here for you guys so you guys can check it out. Good transition into a breakdown. Now our timing did not change there. Noticing that? So it's supposed to cut the time in half. Right here, song tempo, and it's grayed out. Okay, so this is where we want to actually say re-enable song tempo, re-enable automation. There's that slow beat. All right, I told you guys I would give you guys a link here. Here we go. I just put a little Eventbrite into an Ableton workshop up here in the hills, and I think that if you guys want to jump online and join us, that's also a possibility. I can zoom it out to you guys. All right, so we have our tempo change engaged, and coming out of automation mode, we want more transitions. So this area right here, I'm going to go Command L, and that brings over our loop bracket, and it loops it in. Take off the loop bracket. I don't need that there. And I'm going to now select all the tracks by clicking that loop bracket above. And I can press 0, and it zeroes out and slices everything within that loop bracket. Pretty awesome little trick. Now I unzero by clicking a track and then pressing 0 on the ones that I want to keep in. All right, let's go ahead and get out of solo mode. I have a little high there. Where's that high? The fine line, is that? Interesting, I'm still hearing the high one. Why am I hearing the high? Dun, dun, dun. Melody. There it is. All right, I think I just want the bass to be on its own. Notice that when it was grouped and hidden, when I did this trick, it actually didn't zero it out. So just FYI, it needs to be kind of exposed when you do that. All right, this whole section right here, let's try and duplicate that out. Command-Shift-D. So let's say I wanted to expand a part, right? It pushes the entire song over. Really helpful. You can also go Command-I and insert a certain amount of space and then duplicate the drum beat. But like I did right there, just selecting an area, Command-Shift-D was kind of a shortcut for that. So now we have that break into, it's holding down low. I think that there can be some room for some type of change, some type of feel of maybe some flow over this. Second phrasing. And it has a lot of energy just pop up out of there. So how do we bring that energy up just from nothing at all, right? And this is where our voice can kind of help create that energy. So let's go ahead and put some markers on where we're dealing with here. So we just kind of can kind of understand the phrasing a little bit better, right? So there we are. So we have our two phrases of that beat coming through right here. And I want to start building in this area, okay? So we can actually use different parts of the track. So let's go into our drums here and just kind of figure out what's our bongo part doing when that's in. It's pretty basic. All right, how about this one? And claps, let's see. Let's see what this sounds like in that same pocket. And we're just going to build up the last part. So it's pretty slow, and this is where you can kind of go into record mode and play it with that cut time, right? So let's unfold this. Okay, and when I click this headphone right here, it means that I'm going to be able to listen every time that I click one of these. Okay, you can always take that off too. It's great to, you know, at live shows to be able to take that off and move stuff around and not make sounds in certain scenarios. All right, let's expand this out and go through some sounds. All right, that low kick might be cool. And how far does this go? One more. Now the feel of this is, I'm noticing there's a little bit of a difference. So when I look into this drum here, right? Let's go ahead and watch this as we go. It's behind the beat. So this is where I'm putting it, and it's going to be just a tad bit behind the beat for that feel to be swung a little bit. One way we can possibly do that is, let's go ahead and find a groove and put a little swing on. So now if I commit that with this little button here, notice how it drops these guys back just by a little bit of the phrasing. It actually pushed the clap a little bit in certain ones. Cool. I like how that sounds. Oh man, so I got this cup of matcha right here, and I just like the sound of this spoon going around. Let's put that as our break-in. Okay. Easy enough. So if my mouse isn't quite working, I'm going to figure that out later. All right, so if I want to do a new track on drums, let's make sure we go Command T, bringing in a track. And so this is where I'm not going to hear the track. I'm going to say off here because I'm going to record this and I don't want to hear the latency, and I don't want to change my buffer latency preferences right now. So let's just go ahead and do the off, and let's record something as I sip here. Let's see what happens. Notice our input now. It's coming from a track that's actually picking up everything. So we want to go into my vocal track, which looks like it's coming through 11. And I want to make sure you guys see that up here too. Yep. Cool. You can see it just above my head. Awesome. So let's go ahead and do that one more time. Okay, pretty random sounds. Came in a little quiet. Let's boost that up with our gain. And let's call this matcha cup. Now, let's say this isn't actually the exact part that we like with it. Like where I placed all of the random noises, right? I was just kind of flowing. If you want to change the effects on that matcha cup, okay, I kind of liked a lot of that actually. And this part that I sipped at was kind of cool. So I'm going to go ahead and expand this out. There's a clap right afterwards. It just really excites. So this is one that I want to even boost the gain even more. Nice. Now notice how even the playback changes when we go from that cut time 80 BPM to 160. Everything speeds up, right? It's going slow here. And right away, boom, it starts trucking. The reason why the 80 and the 160 is making sense because it's just double timing. And if your follower isn't working, you can go Command-Shift-F to take the follower on or off, right? Command-Shift-F, boom, goes right in and follows your cursor in arrangement view. Now, if I wanted to actually play this instrument a little bit, Command-Shift-T creates a MIDI track, and I'm going to go ahead and bring in an instrument, and I have Simpler here just on its own, boom, nothing in it at all. And what I want to do is go ahead and bring you guys this sample. Drop it in and slice. Okay, we're slicing this track up. Now let's go ahead, auto mode. I'm going to go into key mode. And our volume. Let's bring this up. So how I'm triggering this now is with my keyboard because I'm not using my push or my Akai MPK MIDI. Just so anyone that doesn't have any external audio device like that, hardware device, you guys can use your keyboard on your laptop or your Mac Mini, whatever you're using. So okay, I actually really like this sound right here specifically. So let's say I wanted all of this. So let's go ahead and copy this over here and expand this out. So we have all of our sounds listed now. And now drop this in. There we go. Okay, so now we have all of our sounds in there. We can take some of these out, right? There's a little bit of bleed you can hear in that. That's okay though, because we can come in here and put a nice audio effects rack in that we've created. Let's do a custom rack for Justin vocals. And at the end of this, we're going to be compressing and limiting the low end here. Let's take out some of these and let's see if we can get, oh, here's a gain structure at the end. Put some chorus on. So if I didn't want any bleed, I'd make sure that it was quieter in my headphones or just record those sounds without listening at all because it's kind of random, right? So we're using Simpler here. And the goal of this is to then be able to, I'm going to go ahead and zero this one out, or just delete that. And let's play this instrument for a while as we listen to the track. And let's record it. So right there at the end, I hear this ah sound that I really liked. And we can actually now put this in the exact location that we want. Okay. Ba-dum-bum. Here we are. Here's our ah at the very end. Oops, and my head's in the way. There we go. You guys can see now down here. Junk, junk, junk. That's where my cursor is. And let's expand this out. Listen to the end. I think it would be kind of cool just to have that at the very end. So Command L, right? That's our trick. We're selecting all. We're going to deselect this right here, right? And press 0. Now everything is going to be, there we go. And make sure our loop is off so we can hear that. Let's continue with this because this is a really great way to kind of create some easy sound effects, right? Anything, we're just using our matcha cup for the day. We're almost done today, but noticing that what I really want to get across is moving from our session view, okay, over to arrangement view, which is what we did today, right? We recorded into arrangement view. I also had this color-coded area up here so I can actually go in here and start naming parts, right? This part here, Command, Shift, Intro. And you could even have this already named per se, right? You could even come in here and go, rename, Intro. So when it comes in, it will be already named for you. We haven't done too much with coming back into session view, but what I love to do is, if we're gonna take this into the live setting, I love to go into session view, right, to bring it back to the live setting, simplifying the track. We don't want to have, 20 tracks. We want to bring that down, bounce those down to something more simple. So that's what I'll do today is just take automation. I'm not going to actually bounce too much down, but I'll give you the basic example of it. So the drums all, okay, that's sending to the all right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a brand new sample track. And this will be for the live stream. Arrangement, okay. Boom, boom. Let's call this sample drums. Okay, so now we're going to take the drums and instead of sending them to the all, having a hard time saying that. We're going to go to sample drums. There it is. And once again, my head's in the way. Oh, head. So what I did, sorry guys, I did this behind my head. So sample drums, and I'm going to make sure that my drums all now is going to sample drums, and I'm going to record this channel. Okay. And this is where you can pretty much create an entire track or a piece of a track. Let's say I want just a section of the song recorded. So let's go into this section right here. We're going to play it and record. Now notice we're not hearing it right now because I'm not listening to this. Let's go ahead and listen to it. We're getting some feedback. We don't need to hear that all. Oh, that's why. So in the internal, right, this has to actually say drums all. Let's do that one more time. So we can actually listen to it this time. We won't have feedback. Now, what we just recorded was everything, including my voice, I think. Let's go ahead and hear that. Let's go ahead and listen to it. Yeah, so we just had everything recorded, because that was into my 1-2 of my X32 is pretty much taking everything. So now it's getting from just the drums all. Let's go ahead and listen to that. Now notice that break that we did is now going to be there, right? We took out this part right here, and that's the change that we're going to bring into session view. We have a few parts coming in through here, right? Loving this track here that we did with the matcha cup in Simpler. We're doing a few parts here. I know we're over our 12 o'clock, but this is a super awesome little trick here. Notice our breakdown now is going to have all of these little changes. I did want to have a swell in here too, but let's just get this part. All right, so that's really where we stopped everything from being kind of a little customization. I'm not done with this yet, so I actually don't really want to stop on this one just at this moment. But what I'll do here is just cut this up so you guys can see what I'm going to do. And it would be nice to actually match the colors maybe a little bit, or purposely not match the colors. Okay, noticing that we have our different parts here. And we don't even have anything listed for this area. We deactivated this. So this was our white, and it was kind of our, was that our breakdown? No, this is our breakdown. All right, so our breakdown, we didn't even have a color for this one. Let's go ahead and put this into something special. A little light purple, and this will be our dark purple. So let's go back and make sure that we do all of these. This will be the last thing I do today, but it's essentially putting the loop, right, of arrangement and session view are not separate things, that you can use them in your production, both live and in studio, simultaneously, in and out. They can do the same thing and a little bit of different things, just using them to your advantage, right? That's what we're going to try and do here, is use this to our advantage. Looks like we're gonna, it's a darker color. All right, and this one was green. So what I'm gonna do here is, I'm gonna copy these over. So Command C, this is on our sample drums track. Sample drums track. And I wanna match the color here, orange. The next one was green. Oh, actually, you know what? It was that darker color. That's what I played next. Copy this over, and you played that. Green was next after that. Let's copy this over and paste. Purple was after that. Paste. This is going to be cool. So this is the one that our breakdown beat. So our breakdown was break beat, that one right there. Paste, few more. Looks like we just have, okay, this is actually a different variation of purple. Okay, so we have, let's go ahead and insert scene and put this in. So essentially what I would do is I would, drums, I would mute this right here, or the drums all, and use just this. So it's taking less CPU usage, right? Obviously, when you just mute something, it doesn't actually cut the CPU usage out. You'd actually have to zero it out or freeze tracks, etc. But for the sake of today, let's go ahead and just mute this. Let's just solo this track. And as we come into this view, notice how this is our broken down track that was recorded in our sample drum. So all of our drums are into one track right now. Just to prove that, I'm going to stop these ones. It's obviously, so you just kind of hear that they're all together. And it's in a loop. Okay, that's where the matcha cup came in. You're hearing that in that one track now. Like, I can stop all these, and we're not picking that up. It's all right here. We can also watch what's happening, right? Okay, one thing to notice too, that these are not put into loop mode yet. So we want to make sure that these are all loop mode or follow action. You can also put it into follow action so the next loop is played after. This is where you start arranging your tracks and setting up your live show from your arrangement. So what we did today was we went from session view, that's last week's work, into arrangement view, did some changes, added in a little matcha cup stir and sip, and then bust a recording down all to our sample drum track and brought that back into arrangement view for a live show, saving your CPU usage and having the exact type of track with the breaks and the changes that you want for your live show. I hope that helps out. And if you want to learn more, check out our online lessons at sf.garnishmusicproduction.com or the Garnish Music Network. And you can also catch us at our boutique studio in Soul Graffiti Studios in North Oakland for our in-person lessons. We have sessions going on DJing, Ableton, Logic, Pro Tools, so on and so forth, mixing, mastering, sound design. And we have a special class coming up here on Saturday, 7 to 9 p.m. up here in Grass Valley at Soul Graffiti Remote. And we'd love to have you in person or online. So email me at sf@garnishmusicproduction.com to get more information. I did put a little note for the Eventbrite on how to sign up. So look in the comments if you want to sign up for that. And I look forward to seeing you in the near future. Check us out next Wednesday for West Coast Wednesdays, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. every Wednesday here at SF Garnish Music Production. Thank you to the Garnish Music Network for having us out, and we'll see you really soon. Take care.